That music, it always warms my heart because that means we're on air. This is the Changing Stage Show. My name is Florentino, and we are broadcasting on the Talk Media Network. And this is, if you're not here in the live room, if you want to chat with us, if you want to win an Artesia Pro microphone, come over here to the to entertalkmedia.com/live-stream, or just come to entertalkmedia.com and you'll see the live stream button there. Click on that and you'll bring right here with us. I want to take a minute to give a shout out to our good sponsor, a good friend, and the folks that provide a lot of the gear that we use around here, Artesia Pro. They are doing some big things with drums, with microphones, with interfaces, with cool mobile keyboards. So, go to artesia-pro.com to check them out as well. There's a couple of links down below if you're here at the live stream room, and you can click on those to check all that fun stuff out. I want to give a big thanks to Jeffrey Weber, who was just on with us. He's a platinum and Grammy-winning producer, music icon. Has been around for decades making this happen. I appreciate his time. But now this is the time for what I would call one of my musical brothers here. He's a bass master extraordinaire. He is an editor at large for, I know Kayleen's listening in the back. Virtuoso Bass Magazine. I always mix those up. My brain kind of gets confused on that sometimes. But an amazing magazine. They allowed me to actually contribute a little something to this last issue. So we did a little thing on Ampeg. And I just want to welcome Bunny to basically to this show. Bunny, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing just fine. As long as I have my bass with me, I'm okay.
Yeah, have bass will travel. That is awesome. Well, hey, brother, thank you very much for joining here. I know we kind of put this together somewhat last minute. It was last week, and and let's just kind of jump into it. We did this because your lovely wife and the person who is just a juggernaut when it comes down to PR and all things promotional, Miss Kayleen Peoples, and she is also the editor of Jenna Magazine, connected us to do this interview about a couple of different things. But we'll start off. You got a little bit of a mention in a Gibson historical book that just came out, because you used to have a bass with Gibson. Is that not correct?
Yes, it's correct. It's about around 1985, 1986. The owner of Gibson at the time, Henry Juszkiewicz, decided that he wanted to do something more important, because everybody knows Gibson with the guitars. He wanted to, put his foot in for the bass. So he hired Rick Turner. Rick Turner is the guy that started the alembic instrument. And so he contacted me and also Brian Bromberg to design some basses for Gibson. I don't believe they ever did Brian's bass at all, but they actually did the Bunny Brunel bass, which looks exactly like this one. Just that's something I don't know if you could see. Can you see it on the screen?
I'm actually not looking at the screen. Everybody else is, so I'm hoping that they're all looking at it. I'm in the studio. Yes, Josh in my control room gave a big thumbs up.
I just opened the page on that Gibson book where you can see the Bunny Brunel. It's a all red bass. There's a little white one on the corner, and this is what I designed, for them. And after 5 years, unfortunately, they were not really advertising or making the instrument. probably sold about 20 of them or something like that. And I decided to get out of the company because they were not actually doing anything after 5 years, you know.
Yeah.
So, by the way, the person who made them for Gibson is Roger Geffen, very famous bass maker from London, I believe,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
he came, did my bass, he did a fantastic job. The bass was just perfect and all that, but they were not selling the instrument. So I was very smart. Henry Juskevich was coming to LA, and I just wrote one-page things telling him to break the contract, and he doesn't owe me anything. I don't owe him anything, and we call it quit, you know. And I did that, and I was very smart because I didn't lose my name. You have a lot of companies, you know, a lot of guys, Tobias, and a lot of that, they lost their name,
Yeah.
and they have to change their name. Steinberger, when you Neil, you know, and the upcoming is based NS or something, you know. And no, I was smart. I did that thing, and I just left the company with my name, which was good. So after that, I was carving. Was interested to make the instrument, and they did a very good job. Unfortunately, they were not into really copying the exact shape of my instrument. So they did a very good job because they're a really good company. They do actually good instruments really made in America, you know, in San Diego over there. But they didn't want to use my headstock. They had like a pointy thing with a, and they you know, the horn right here, they made it looking like a banana. So after 20 years of trying to have them doing the thing the way I wanted, you know, I finally gave up and just left the company. And I was approached by ESP to do it. And ESP, I just gave him my Gibson. I gave him, you know, like 3 Gibsons, and they copied it perfectly. The shape of the bass, everything perfect. The headstock, on top of it, you have a Hipshot. The company Hipshot did a great job making the how you call it? I have to move the camera. Making those little smaller. They are like Fender but smaller. I was able to put 5 of them in line on one side because on the Gibson the 5th one was on the other side. So thanks to Hipshot, they made the thing I was able to put 5 in line, so it looks even better. And but the rest of the body is exactly like the Gibson. And I have the pickup here. You know, it's everything is Aguilar with the preamp. You know, so it sounds perfect. You know, they did a killer job. I'm really happy with what they did, and I recommend people, if you're looking for a very good instrument, you know, if you get the Bunny Brunel LTD model, you know, from ESP, you have a 5-string fretless or fretted, and you have a 4-string. I don't believe they do the 4-string fretless. I mean, you can always ask. But, you know, nowadays people like to hear the lows anyway.
Oh, I love the bass sound.
Yeah, it's just...
That is awesome.
With the sustain.
We're going to be doing a clinic here with you in the very near future, so I want to give a shout out for that. We haven't put the dates yet, but we're going to have a cool clinic about all the gear and your wisdom. So we're going to get a little bit of that today, but obviously we want people to know, and we'll be putting out dates on when that will be. But if we're not mistaken, we're thinking July. Is that correct, Bunny?
Yeah, I'm sorry, what did you say? I didn't
for the
hear.
clinic, we were talking about July.
July would be perfect.
Yeah. So we'll be doing that, folks. So make sure you stay tuned in that. Yeah, and you know, obviously the basses are amazing. You've done a great job with the ESP. You've been we wanted to talk to you about all these amazing things you've done because you've been a renaissance man. You've really understood how to keep your brand sustained. You know, obviously, jazz is not always the easiest arena to build a brand in from a mainstream perspective. But you've done a great job at branding yourself throughout the industry, creating lines of basses. Now you have also an acoustic line as well, right?
Yes, I have it's not acoustic. It's actually electric upright bass.
Oh, electric. I'm sorry. Yeah, my brain.
Buddy Brunel electric upright bass.
Yeah.
I can show one. On the. I don't know if you can see it.
Here we go. I'm going to go back. I'm actually viewing this on my phone as we go along here.
Oh, right.
I'm answering. I'm answering questions and everything at the same time, so it's I'm wearing multiple hats. I don't know, Josh, in the screen. Do we see the electric upright? Okay, from the bridge up. It's all good. It's all good. We'll go through all that fun stuff in the clinic here, but you've also been the player that made a great deal of your income from live performances and touring. You had a tour that was set for Russia, from what I understand.
Yes, I was going to do a tour in Russia with the guitar festivals and playing some cities around Moscow. It was like a couple of weeks or something. But unfortunately, with the COVID-19 BS, they canceled everything. And we're supposedly going to do it in September. They gave some dates around the 20th or something. But, Russia is open. They opened up. Anybody can go in or out. So, but I don't think you can fly from America or
we're not letting that out just yet.
Maybe it's going to change. Then we'll be able to do it because that's what we do. People don't realize, but for musicians, you have all those great musicians. I was just talking to Lee Sklar that was to do a whole thing in Europe, and it got canceled. The guy is home playing with his dogs. It's not fun. On top of it, they send people like $1,200. It's like, oh yeah, that's gonna make it for 6 months. It's a joke.
Yeah, it's hard. So it's been hard for musicians. It's definitely been hard for musicians.
They cannot go play. The clubs are closed. You cannot go play in clubs. The only thing you can do is, as I say, give some lessons on the internet and all that. I do have some lessons that I actually see the people.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing that's left.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a challenge. Now we've talked about this, and I want to let people know that we're going to be doing a lot of virtual concerts. Actually, we're doing 2 tonight and tomorrow from a really cool club down in the Gaslamp. It's called Juan Tequilas, and we've got a couple of groups coming out here tonight and tomorrow. A lot of Latin, a lot of move your body kind of music tonight. But we're going to be bringing you, Bunny, down here, and that same time. That was when we're going to do the clinic. We're going to do a live concert. You're going to bring all the amazing players. We've talked about Chad Wackerman and then Julian Coriel, and I don't know if Mitch is coming back out.
Yeah, I will talk to these guys to see if they're available, and I'm sure they would like to do that. That'll be great.
Yeah. So now the thing about these virtual concerts, and I want to share this with people. We believe in this because it's a new way for us to help artists to drive revenue. Part of it is we're going to be able to offer people cool mementos from the show, things even like coffee. So we're getting into the coffee business. So you'll be able to get a Bunny Brunel flavored or cab flavored coffee. So make sure that's going to be part of what we're going to be doing to help build a revenue model for the artists, that they're doing these concerts, but they also have products and other things that give you a chance to share in the experience long after the event is done. So that's a lot of stuff that I've been working with Bunny, and I appreciate you helping me out with that, Bunny, and I bet being a thought leader in that respect. Are there any other things that you're seeing out there that will help artists to drive some type of income? What are some of the things that's maybe excited you? I know there's a lot of things that we're all a little bit disappointed at, but so what are some of the things you are looking at to further on, because I know you're doing a magazine, you've got a bunch of other things, and then we've got some questions from the audience as well.
Okay, well, before we get to the questions, I like to say that you already mentioned what is working with the internet. If we can get like professional style, quality, I would say, concerts, on the internet that people can see live, and same thing with the lessons, people talking about that would be fantastic. You do a special day, everybody wants to be, and people can ask questions, and this is the way to go. I think that's the main way. There is other thing we could probably do, but that's definitely the main thing. People won't have to travel. They can be playing for people in Japan without leaving their living room. I mean, to your studio, whatever. That's the future. I think that's the way we should do it. It'll be nice when you go on tour and meeting the people directly, but already on the internet, if you can do live performances and people can actually ask questions and things like that, you got it. That's what we should do.
That is definitely the future, and we're banking on that. We're actually working with a local, and this is where we're going to have you in concert and do the clinic at a local establishment. Queen Bees, which is down in the North Park area of San Diego, has a beautiful facility. It's a multicultural center. They do a lot of things like dance lessons, and they've opened up to us to build a virtual concert arena, and it's a big stage area. So big shout out to Alma and Queen Bees, and stay tuned. We're going to have a dates for the clinic and then for the concert that will be happening right after that clinic. So hopefully we'll be able to have people physically there for the clinic, and we're still probably a little outside of the realm of having large scale concerts, because we'll have way too many people with money there. But at least we can do the virtual. We'll do the virtual concert and make that a reality. So Bunny, we had some questions here. So when we were on the top of the Gibson, Neil, hey, shout out to Neil here. Oh, by the way, Maurice said a great tip, Bunny. So Neil, you really want to know what Bunny thinks about good old Henry that is no longer there at Gibson? I don't know. Should we do we have a bleep button there, Bunny? I don't know. Did you like Henry? I've heard some mixed stories about him for sure.
Talking about Henry Yuskevich.
Yeah.
It's very simple. That person is part of the family that owns all the black boxes in the world on all the planes. We're talking about lots of money.
Yeah.
So he basically, obviously, decided to, he likes to rock and roll and get and buy a company. So he bought Gibson and all that, and but he didn't have any clue of really which way to go and all that. And he bought a bunch of companies while he was there, and he ruined them all.
Yeah.
So obviously he was not into the getting the business happening the right way, and it's too bad because he had the means to do it, and he's actually very nice. The guy was a really nice guy, but it's not enough to be nice. You have to be good in the business you start. He bought companies doing like one of the best recording system. He bought the thing and ruined it and all that. He killed them all, and it's too bad. That's all I have to say. It's too bad that's what happened. I mean, the bass was really a success when he started coming out, but the problem, they stopped making them.
Yeah.
He didn't push the thing. He had the product to do it. He had everything. He had the guy take care of it. That Roger Geffen was excellent, But no, the thing went down the drain. That's what I left, and he didn't put. Look, they hired Brian Bromberg, and they never made his bass, at all. I don't think they ever made a Gibson Brian Bromberg.
Yeah. I don't remember either myself. So.
He had two champions of the bass to help designing some killer instrument, and he didn't take the opportunity to push it and to make it work. And it's too bad. It's kind of a waste, He wasted a lot of people's time and the money and ruined companies, like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Look at and NS, Tobias, they have to restart and change the name of the company to be able to survive,
Yeah.
So it's not good at all. So that's all I have to say.
Yeah, I think from what I heard, he was really not that fond of the music instrument industry. He really wanted to be a consumer music brand. So it's a whole different mindset when you're doing marketing for that. We do marketing for a lot of different music instrument brands out there. So we do know that it's a different model. But that's good insight on Bunny. So hopefully that answers your questions, Neil. The other question that we have. By the way, Maurice again just said a great tip. So thanks, Maurice, for being here for the whole thing from Jeffrey and for Bunny's interview here. Anonymous 247. I don't know who that is because they're anonymous, but they want to know, how did you meet Chick Corea? Because you've played with Chick, you've played with Tony Williams, you played with so many amazing players before you had your own project.
Yeah, I was definitely very lucky, So what happened? I was playing with a great, pianist singer, Tania Maria. She's a Brazilian singer playing the piano. That's amazing. I was playing with her, and on the drums, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, French drummer, André Ciccarelli, Didi Ciccarelli. And he's from my hometown. I actually grew up playing with his father, with him, with his brother, and it's just like as I say, I was very fortunate because I learned how to play with a killer drummers, the timing, the everything, the feel, where they, it's just, that's what I used to hear, I was playing with this amazing guy. And so we were playing in London at the Ronnie Scott Club with Tania Maria and with André Ciccarelli on drums and all that. And it was a funny story because every night there was a guy over there with a glass of cognac, walking, talking, I had no idea who he was, and he was there, talking, say, oh man, there's only like a Jacko, Stanley, Jeff Berlin, and you, nobody else. And I was like, oh yeah, thank you, you're so nice. No, it's just, I'm serious. He said, oh, okay, whatever, though. And he was there every night, And on the Saturday night, he came and he said, oh, I'm sorry, tomorrow I cannot come. Tomorrow I cannot come because, I'm going to go see Chick Corea. I said, well, that's a good idea. Just go see Chick Corea. I mean, go on. And I say, no, but I'm going to tell him to come listen to you. And, I tap him on the shoulder and say, bring the whole band. 'Cause I didn't.
So Stanley came out there with him and everything, huh?
Yeah, so, you see a guy with a cognac talking, it's just like, you didn't take him seriously at all. And then finally I find out it's Patrick Moraz.
Okay.
The keyboard.
Yeah.
The amazing keyboard player from Yes and all that,
Yeah.
Incredible.
Wow.
And he's a friend with Chick Corea, and he went to talk to Chick, who was playing with a big band at the time. He had Rick Laird playing acoustic and electric on a big band. He was touring. And he was actually obviously looking for a bass player because he told him, oh, you got to go listen to that bass player. He brought Chick Corea.
Oh,
That's
wow.
how I met Korea, and he left. He saw the thing, and then he left, and he only leave one message, to Tania Maria. He said that she's gonna have a hard time keeping her bass player. That's what he said.
Yeah.
And he left, and I found out, that he was playing in Paris, like a week later. So I find a way to go backstage, talking to a friend of mine, and I saw him walking backstage, and I say, hi, he looking at me, so who the hell is that? Say, I'm the bass player you saw in London, He said, oh, he called and said, take his number. So he took my number, and in August of '78, that was in 1978, he called me to come, come to LA to record Secret Agent. And I
Okay.
came in August, 1978, I came to LA and I never came back. I just stayed. So, and I was playing, touring with him and all that. The drummer that came over at London was Tom Breckline was with him.
Okay.
Funny because Tom told me that when he heard Andre Ciccarelli, he was scared. He was afraid he would lose his job. So anyway, so that was a great band with him, Al Vizzuti on trumpet. He had a Joe Farrell on the saxophone, Gail Moran, Don Allies on percussion. That was a killer band. I mean, we were touring. It was like a fantastic, And one day, Stanley called me because he had a concert with Al Jarreau, Tony Williams, Chick Corea. He was down in Santa Monica, the convention center. They were doing a big concert, and that's what the time when he had that hit, that he played on the piccolo bass.
Yeah.
And he asked me, "Can you come and play the bass, please, for that tune?" I said, "Okay." So I went over there. They were rehearsing, so I set up my amplifier next to the drums. And in fact, if you look at the on the Tony Williams album, these pictures inside the last album, maybe, and you can see the cabinet with Bunny on it. That was you can see. Anyway, so that's when they took the picture for his album. So anyhow, so we, I was sitting there. They were playing, rehearsing. Suddenly, Chick Corea said, "Oh, let's play your song, Stanley. Let's call Bunny." So I get up, I walk in front of Tony Williams that is looking at me really strange. Nobody told him anything, And, so I plugged the bass and I stopped playing. And, and he's throwing bombs everywhere, he's like trying to lose me or something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
as I said, I practiced with, Andre Ciccarelli and these people, I know how it sounds. I know when you're coming back to the beat, they have the same. Those great drummers, they have the same thing. They're doing the same thing. I cannot really decide, define exactly what it is. But so I would just play the bass. He was doing a thing. I just nail the stuff down, And at the end of the tune, he stood up and say, "Hi, my name is Tony." And it's, I'm glad. It's really hard to find good bass players. That's how I met Tony Williams, that called me later to tour with him. That was the beginning. And after that, everything went along. I played with Herbie Hancock, with actually he's recorded. We played one song on my album, Ivanhoe. There's a song where you have Chick Corea and Herbie playing on the same, one on the piano, the other one on the sizer. So that. I ended up meeting all those people like that, Wayne Shorter, and touring with all those guys. Did a lot of things. So it's just if people want to go to BunnyBrunel.com, there's videos. They can see me with some of the people I played with.
What an amazing journey, man! That is awesome. That is awesome. And we talked. Yeah, we talked a little bit about your fretless basses, and I know that you, have, have been, a really, recognized as a top player when it comes down to fretless. What drew you to playing fretless? And then for Maurice Hissink is the last name. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. He wants to know some tips on how to get better on playing fretless bass. So, two-part question: what drew you to playing fretless, and what can somebody who wants to better learn? What can they do?
When you play electric bass and you play acoustic bass, which I do, and in fact, my first instrument was, I'm talking about for a week or two, was the acoustic bass. And so it makes sense that you want to get that, with the vibrato and things like that. You want You want to do the same thing on the electric bass, so it makes sense to, take off the fret of the bass and you put some bondo, which I did, and play with with the fretless. And but I recommend some people, because I hear some people playing the fretless, and as soon as they start going on the upper position, the pitch it's off.
Yeah, yeah.
The problem is just that if you just put some dots on the side right there, because of the angle you're looking down, you cannot really be exactly at the right spot. So some people, they put spot on the other side to do that, and that makes sense. But I recommend to have fret markers. I know it looks better with no markers and things like that, like an acoustic bass, but it's more important to play in tune. So
in tune and in time. There was one thing I learned from you from your clinics that I went to before, because actually, if you guys don't know, Bunny was one of my inspirations to relearn how to play the bass. I was a kid, I used to play, and then I stopped playing and moved into producing, and then I came back into it after going to a Bunny clinic, and he got me to buy an amp and a few other different things by just sheerly his artistry. And he taught me one thing is, make sure if you're going to hit a bad note, at least make sure it's on time. Then it's jazz.
Yeah, it's true. It's better to play a wrong note in time, because people think you meant it.
I meant that. Yeah, it stuck with me.
On top of it, when you play a wrong note, the right one is just half step up or down.
Yeah, exactly.
So you just, here we go. That's people, if you play, you can hear the wrong note, just move up or down, half step, and then you have the right note. So that's the way to do it.
Yeah. So Maurice said he removed the frets on his bass, just like what you did, and he's using flat. He said, do you recommend flat round or wound round?
Round one.
Round round.
Because you want to have, you have to have that sound, that old, the problem with flat round, you cannot have, there's no sustain. They used to play flat one, boom, 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 boom,
yeah.
And they should put even like a piece of foam. You have those famous bass players that, they play like that. They used to play like that with and people have no idea. So that's why they say, I want the same sound. Well, they had the same sound because they didn't know how to play, to mute the notes while they were playing. So it's because they play acoustic bass and they move to electric bass. They play with one finger, and people don't know that. It's just like for instance, you have the bass player of Redbone, Pat Vegas. Pat Vegas plays with his thumb, okay? And he had the foam right there, which is the always muted, and the thing was kind of muted. And to play a 16 note, he would play 8th note on his finger, and then he would, you would tap the other note, so you hear, but he's actually playing. Okay, there's a lot of bass players at the beginning who were doing that, So
yeah.
It's hard for me to do that because I'm so used to play every note. But he was showing me it was quite interesting, and you have that guy that they always talk about for what's his name for the Motown bass.
Are you talking about? James Emerson.
Yeah, but James Emerson was playing like that as well. He played with the first finger. He played din 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 dick 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 dick. All his bass lines were made like that. He played with the muting like that. So that's flat one, the foam and all that. That's the only way they could do it. And he played with one finger, So I know about it because I was talking to some other bass player that play with up and down, and he was making fun at them, because they were doing up and down, and he was doing down. But he didn't mention that he was playing half of the beat, So
Yeah.
that's a style, and people, they want to recreate that. It looks flat one. No. If you want to have the sustained round wound, and that's why I recommend you have to put a finish on the fingerboard, because it's going to eat up the fingerboard with the round wound.
With the round, yeah, for sure.
That's why I recommend if you get my ESP Bonnet Brunel fretless, it's got that finish on it, and it's a special finish. You can slap, and you never have to redo it again. The thing with on my original Fender, I use epoxy, so then after a while you have to do it again, because it's the strings were eating the epoxy
to the fretboard.
Finally, a friend of mine find a way what to use to make it that it doesn't never go away. So that's what we're doing on those instruments. You can see on the thing, it's really shiny and all that. It's actually beautiful.
Yeah, it was an amazing bass for sure.
I can slap. And it's not doing anything to the fingerboard.
Wow.
So if I go on tour and I cannot bring two basses, if I can slap on it. It's fine. The song, if I'm playing it.
Yeah, you can do.
I'll slap on the fretless.
Yeah. An amazing talent that you are, brother. So a quick tip on anybody who wants to play fretless. What would you say, they should really start to focus in on when they move from a fretted to a fretless bass?
Well, the thing is just like on the fretted, you can put the finger between the frets and it's okay anywhere. But if you play fretless, it's like 3/4 to be in tune. If you put it exactly half and half, you're too sharp. So it's like a 3/4, you're a little lower.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to learn to practice to put your fingers exactly at the right spot, And the thing good with the fretless, if you're not hitting a note, you can correct it. You can correct it. So it's just a matter to hearing. The problem, a lot of people don't hear that well. They don't hear when they play wrong notes.
Yeah,
I can stand it. I gotta correct it.
I totally understand. We've, you are definitely a man who wants to have precision in everything that you do here. We've got a couple of more questions, and I've got a couple that I'm going to be asking you as well, and then we're going to close out here for the top of the hour. But one of the questions for those that are in the know with Bunny, he is not just a master bassist, but he's also a master chef. He did that for a little time before he moved into the world of music. Two wants to know, how did you become interested in cooking, and what is your favorite dish to cook? For those that want to know more about what it's like to be a master bassist and a master chef.
Well, what happened is just like after high school, I went into a college that specialty is hotel business. So I actually know everything about hotels. You learn how to clean the room, you know how to receive the people, and you know what the accounting. I could have an accounting, degree, whatever, but and they teach everything as well, the cooking.
Yeah.
And I like the cooking because it's kind of artistic, It's just I got into the cooking, and when I got out of the college, I went to work in some very famous hotel restaurants, in the kitchen. That's what I liked. I like that better than working, receptionist or things like that. I was just doing the cooking, and but it's a really tough job. You never, when everybody is having fun, you're working.
Yeah.
So it's a tough job. You have to
I know.
recognize that job. It never stops. You have to go get the thing, find out what to buy before, what you're gonna do. I mean, it's really tough. So I did that for quite a while, you know. But at the same time, I was playing, you know, practicing my instrument and all that, and I end up getting some gigs playing. And so I figure, okay, forget about the cooking. I'm just gonna play, you know. And
Yeah.
So I still, of course, it's like riding a bicycle. I know how to cook, and I know all the details. I know what to make it work and all that. I actually never measure anything because I know putting things. I know how much I should put. It's a job, you know. I know how to do it very well, and I do it at home. And always cook. I like to cook myself, and there's not really any thing that what do you like to cook. It depends of the feeling, you know, whatever it is, whatever. When you know how to cook, so it doesn't matter what it is. You don't have to have a special.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I know that I've enjoyed your cooking a number of times. We've done even a concert where you combined a food and music pairing, so that was just a special event for us. So
yeah. That was good, you know.
Oh, it was good. That shrimp, oh man, the Longestino shrimp. Oh, whew, that was too good. So we're down to our last question here. I'm sorry, guys. I know we had a few other ones, but probably more because this you know, part of this thing is we want to help musicians and people in the music industry find some direction, especially right now where things are uncertain and you know, it's you know, we don't even know if we're going to be opening up, if we're, you know, we don't know if there's a second wave coming. There's so much different information out there. But with that said, what is the best advice to give to musicians, but more specifically to bass students, to just find their place in music? What's your best advice for that?
Well, okay. If you want to make a living playing, the first thing you have to think is you have to learn how to play the bass. I'm saying that because I'm seeing people with a 12-string bass or whatever. Say, nobody's going to hire those poor people. They're doing amazing playing the chords. No. If you're looking at the people that are working, you know, they play the bass. Nathan East, he's playing the bass. Lee Sklar, he's playing the bass. So if you want to have a job, learn how to nail the timing down playing the bass. After, if you can learn how to play a solo and all that, you can do that. But the importance is playing the bass and the timing. You have to nail the thing down.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. You have to learn how to play bass line, and you have to practice the bass lines. People end up practicing. That's okay. Mechanics, you're moving your fingers, but it's good. You know, try to practice some nice bass line. Copy bass line from records and all that, and play the bass line. Yeah. That's what I recommend for people. That's what you have to do first. If you want to get gig and get hired, play the bass and nail the timing. Just put the thing exactly the way it's supposed to be played. So listen to those good bass players that are playing with the stars and all that, and you will see they're not playing solo, they're playing the bass. They nail it down.
Yeah, that is such an important thing, because it's the fundamentals that people forget. They always want to add the icing, but they don't want to go with the cake. So I learned that from you. I can't solo if my life depended on it when playing bass, but people have liked what I do. You know, I don't necessarily put myself into the categories that you or the other people that you're playing with, but I know how to follow a kick drum. We'll just put it that. So, and I learned that from you, man.
That's good, you know.
So,
yeah. Keep playing, you know. I remember I was going to say
oh yeah.
That's Lee Sklar.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
On bass, nailing the thing is just like, the groove on that tune.
Yeah.
Everybody loved that tune. Well, Lee Sklar is playing the bass. I'm sorry.
And wearing that dang beard. He's doing both at the same time, and that's amazing. So, well, Bunny, hey, man, I want to thank you. Again, I want to let you guys know that Virtuoso Bass Magazine is coming out
That's right.
this
Look at,
summertime.
I'm showing the the magazine picture and all that. We got it. You know.
So make sure you
I
guys.
want to let people know. I'm working on the Baseball 2.
Yeah.
With Stanley Clark. It's
all bass player album. So I just want to clarify that for
yes,
folks.
exactly. And then I have working on a new Cab album. Okay. And I want to mention, I released with the Killing People. You have like a romantic bossa nova. This is a really good album where I actually play also the guitar, the Brazilian guitar classical. That's one of the things I do. I play a Brazilian style guitar. So you have to awesome. Check it out. It's a really good album.
I'm going to give a shout out to Kayleen on that because I know that with COVID and that album, there's going to be a lot more kids coming out in 2021. So, it's a beautiful romantic album. Me and Julie, my wife, enjoy it. So shout out to that.
Well, we're going to work on I'm producing an album playing the flute. There's going to be no singing, just the flute. So that's going to be fun.
Oh, that'll be amazing. So great things. Remember, folks, we've got a concert and a clinic coming out with Bunny next month. I will give you the dates. We're just locking that down. And then from there, we've got so many other good things. We're going to be doing more of these vodcast, if you will, video podcast. We've got 2 concerts tonight and tomorrow. We've got another concert at Queen Bee's, and we're going to be doing a series of events at Queen Bee's. The 24th with Bump City Brass, my good friends, 14-piece horn band. So we're bringing that live to the internet, and I can't say confirm or deny anything, but Larry Dunn, you better call me, man. We got to get you in on this. So I'm talking to him and Bill about doing some stuff, and of course, it's part of the family with Kayleen and her illustrious
we'll talk
clientele. So, with that said, folks, this has been the Changing Stage, the music industry big picture series that we're doing. We want to hopefully empower a stronger, more fruitful industry, and I think there's a lot of hope in it. We just got to find the opportunities and share with us the comments down below. We are also broadcasting on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Periscope. I can't think.
Yeah, we gotta. Don't forget to mention First Take PR.
Oh yeah,
she's the
First
one.
Take PR.
Yeah, she's gonna bring Larry Dunn for you.
Yes,
that's for sure.
That is definitely the case. So, with that said, folks, thank you for joining us. We'll put out more listings of when these broadcasts will be coming out. And thanks to all that asked questions, made comments, and joined us today. You guys are awesome. We want to engage with you. If you want to, we've got a subscribe button. Share your emails. We'll be directly in touch with you. Right now we're doing it through social media, but we want to know you. We want to get to know you. We want to help you with whatever your passions are in the music industry. And with that said, Florentino Buenaventura, Bunny Brunel, we're out until next time. All right, we are out, guys.